David Zilstra, publisher of the Haliburton Echo, the Minden Times and Bancroft this week, will be retiring tomorrow. And there is a retirement celebration for him today. And that event will take place between 1 and 3 o'clock at the Haliburton Echo offices. If you're in the area, come on by and give your best regards to David at that time. Now, this is a very busy time for David. Getting set for retirement is no easy feat, so we do appreciate David taking time to chat with us today. David, good to see you, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure, and I just think it's great that you're interviewing me here for this. I couldn't think of anyone better to do the job. You're such a professional and seasoned veteran that it's an honor, and we'll have lots of fun here in the next 20 minutes or so.
Well, you're very kind. I'm definitely a veteran. I'm not sure about everything else, but I am a veteran. David, let's begin by chatting about your younger days and David Zilstra as a youngster. What kind of young guy were you?
Well, first of all, my parents, I'll introduce them first because they actually grew up in Europe during World War II. And they, after World War II, like a lot of people, they came to Canada. My mom and dad separately because they met here in Canada. They got married in British Columbia and then moved to Oshawa in the Whitby area, about 1960, I guess, just a few years before I was born, and moved into the house that we lived in and they had until 2019, the same spot. So
now your folks, when they moved from Holland,
yes,
I understand your dad, he went to Ontario, but your mom went to BC.
That's right.
So how on earth did they get together?
Yep. Well, my future uncle and my father were buddies, and they met in Oshawa area, and I don't know exactly what happened, but the two of them decided to go out and visit the rest of his family, my uncle's family, and that's where my mom and dad met in BC. And then because there was other family in Whitby and whatnot, and my dad had actually spent time in that area, they came back to the Whitby area and stayed there for, until they passed. So
during your time in Whitby as a youngster, what kind of kid were you? Did you like sports? Did you get involved in groups? What sort of stuff went on?
Well, yeah, we were all into sports, everything that you can shake a stick at, hockey sticks, baseball bats, you name it, we all swam. We grew up in the 60s and 70s, so, it was a great time to grow up as kids. I mean, we wandered around on our bikes. We played at the creek. We did this, we did that. We were involved with, organized sports, non-organized sports, whatever. It was a great time to be young, just to bike around town all day for 9 hours or whatever, come home for a bite to eat, go back out until dark. That was our generation. So we had a lot of fun.
You mentioned swimming. I understand that for a few seasons you were a lifeguard.
Yes, I was. And later on in high school, there was an indoor pool and an outdoor pool. And when we were kids, we all swam at the outdoor pool. It was great. As a couple blocks from our house, and the whole town would meet there, every day for lessons in the morning and then swimming in the afternoon. And I had the honor of, being able to come back, I was 16, 17, 18 to teach there and guard there. So that was a lot of fun. And I also taught in the indoor pool as well. So, yeah.
As a young person, you were a part of the Boy Scout movement.
Yes.
And as a part of that, it kind of looks like that might have been the time when you learned the importance of volunteering.
I think so. I mean, we were all with two siblings and me, 3 boys and my dad. We were all involved with the scouting movement. My dad was a leader, and we all went through the system, Cubs and Scouts. A lot of fun. We did the Boy Scout paper drive. We did once a month. We raised money for we went around town and picked up papers at people's front yards and whatnot. Went through town with pickup trucks and then drove on the highway to get them weighed, and then we went back and had the best, in the wintertime, it was mostly a wintertime thing. We had the best hot chocolate and donuts that you could, die for. It was the best part at the end of the day was when we all got together and did that. We did the apple drives and we did other fundraisers and whatnot too. So yeah, we kind of got involved with volunteering through there for sure.
Now, as you grew older and became a young man, you went off to college. What college did you go to, David?
Centennial College in Scarborough, and I took marketing administration. So that was a good couple years there, and had a lot of fun. Learned, of course, the basics of running a business and marketing, which kind of led down, helped me took me into my career as well. So
yeah, when you went into this course of study, did you have an idea of where you thought you might be going with your career?
At that time, no, something to do with business. I always enjoyed business and reading the paper and getting involved that way. Just, businesses definitely were interesting to me. So, and I actually applied for a job at Kmart. I worked there for a couple years. I actually got transferred to Kingston. And how I got more interested in the newspaper business was through the Kingston paper. We did all kinds of advertising in there, flyers and whatnot, newspaper ads and stuff. And I dealt with that person a lot and kind of got me going, well, this would be kind of a cool career, So there was an ad in the paper one day in Napanee, and I applied and I got the job.
Now, you spent a fair bit of time up in Napanee.
I did 16 years. And that was, so I took a lot of my, ideas from earlier days and volunteering and whatnot to, help me with my career there. So I, got involved with the Downtown Business Association, the Rotary Club, the sorts of things like that, with the Hospital Foundation as well. We had a golf tournament every year. So, I got involved with that, and it was a busy time. It was a fun time. So that's
now, after you were finished with your time up there, what was your next move?
Well, the next move was to Haliburton when Len retired in 2005, December. I applied. There was an opening, and because Len had sold the paper to Osprey Media, and when he left, it was opened up for someone to apply, and I applied, and I got the job. So, and then, Marie and I came up here, and she became a teacher at Stuart Baker and stayed there until she retired. And I worked at the Echo and Times and in Bancroft for a number of years, for sure. And then I left and went to Barrie, but we'll talk maybe a little bit about Haliburton first. Things I did first.
Now, when you came to Haliburton,
yes,
and you've been a constant contributor to many organizations over the years.
Yes.
And as well as the paper has been such a tremendous supporter of everything that's been going on. When you arrived in Haliburton, how did you first get involved in the community?
Well, I'd been in the Rotary Club in Napanee, so I automatically, joined the Rotary Club. But Dale Walker, everybody's friend at the foundation, everybody knows Dale. She came up to me, I think, probably the first week I was here, and introduced herself and told her that she was the executive director of the foundation. And you know what, David, you should join. We've got a great product, and you do great. And because you work at the paper, you can help promote, and you can, get the word out, and you'd be great. So anyway, I joined, and that was a really good experience. Getting involved with the foundation for sure, and the Rotary Club. I also joined the BIA board. Yeah, so the Downtown Business Association. So that was great, putting on events and beautification and stuff like that. So I had my hands pretty busy and pretty tied up for sure. And then work, of course, on top of that.
Now, you alluded to the fact that for a period of time you went back to Barrie, and you were you publisher of the newspaper
Yes,
there?
yes.
And
So
that,
again, it was because it was they were owned by Osprey and Sam was the Bear Examiner. When someone left there, I had an opportunity to apply for a job there, and it was again like a stepping stone, and I thought, being only 45, I think it was 40, yeah, something like that, early 40s, I'd say, well, give it a shot. But it was, so I applied and I got the job and publisher of the daily paper. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. Cause, it was obviously a daily paper and bigger, well, it was a big city actually, and growing city. But, you walk in there, it's a big building because it was a regional hub for production and, 10 reporters and lots of sales staff and classifieds and distribution people, all kinds of things going on every day. And because it's a daily paper, boom, 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 every night the paper would go to press around 9 o'clock. So, a lot of times I'd, be in the newsroom. That was, where the fun part was, every day and every night as it goes to press. So yeah, it was a good time for sure.
so that's a really important learning experience,
Yeah,
as well as
it
an
was.
opportunity to grow. How did that lead you back to Haliburton once again?
Well, what happened was, like many people in the business around 2012, there were some issues with the profitability of the larger corporate chains, and a lot of people ended up losing their jobs, including me. So that was a learning experience as well. So I remember on my way home, I said, well, that's okay. What the hell? I'm going back. We never did leave Haliburton. I had an apartment and came back. So I said, that's okay. I'll just poke around in Haliburton. I rejoined some boards. I started a little magazine, and then one thing led to another, and I ended up coming back here at the same place that I worked for 4 years. So, but now as a private company. So it was quite a experience, coming back and
An experience, but ultimately a really important opportunity.
It was an excellent opportunity. And like I say, I rejoined the boards. I joined Highland Summer Festival board. I rejoined the VIA board. I was on the Rotary board. And of course, I rejoined the foundation board as well, which I'm still on. The other boards I've left at the AGMs and whatnot, but I'll be back. Jack Rosina has already twisted my ear to help out this summer. So, everyone I talked to, actually Bill Glidden the other day too, he's got an operetta that he's got coming up in the fall that he's written, and he wants me to be in the chorus. So I told him I'd be happy to do that. So it's amazing. When you retire, there's so much to do up in Haliburton. It's such a great place to live, and you just, all I tell people is, get involved. It enhances your life and the community as a whole. So
By this time next year, you'll wonder how you had enough time to do everything when you were working.
Yeah, no, exactly. I hear that from a lot of people, and I think that's going to happen with me as well. So
now, an important part of your life in Haliburton has been with the Rotary Club, and we know how important Rotary has been, certainly to Haliburton, as well as the clubs in other areas of the county. What attracted you to the Rotary Club, and how important has that been to you?
Well, I first joined the Rotary Club when I was in Napanee. Next door neighbor was in the club, and he'd come up to me and he'd say, you should, join the Rotary Club. You're involved with the community already on the BIA and stuff like that. And the Rotary Club stuff so much. And just by, reading the paper and getting involved with the community, the Rotary Club did a lot there. So I joined there. When I came here, I joined here. And then I went to Barrie, I joined there as well. So, and then when I came back, I rejoined the club again. So, yeah.
And you obviously have really gained a lot from this association
yes.
as a person,
definitely.
And so you'll continue in your retirement to
Yes.
work on the projects of the Rotary Club.
Yes, yeah, we do lots of projects. I mean, I'm not on the board right now, but I did that. Was on the board for 8 or 9 years. So, but yeah, we do so much. We do so much great stuff in the community. Looking forward to moving forward with that into the future for sure.
I look at the Rotary Club and I see so many things that you're involved in, and
Hmm.
and sometimes there's a lot of hard work involved with that. I see a number of the members who are working on Skyline Park.
Skyline Park, yeah, that's right. So it's a beautification project with Skyline Park, working with MTO actually. So it's not owned by municipality. It's a Ontario-owned project or property. So a lot of hurdles to get through with that, but we're on the way now to getting that to a better spot for people to visit, and it'll be great for the community once it's up to snuff.
That's pretty
Yeah,
exciting stuff.
yeah,
Now, David, over the years, you've had a few nominations as
yes,
Highlander of the Year, and you received that award. And
yes,
I would imagine going through the process of being nominated and then finally receiving the award
yes.
uh, must have been a bit of an uplift for you.
It was an uplift, like you say. I was nominated 3 or 4 times, but you volunteer in the community, not for this award. You volunteer to help and to get involved, and it enhances, like I said, it enhances your life. It makes things more fun and stuff like that. So when you're nominated, it's a great honor, and the years I didn't win, we had great winners, and I was just so tickled to hear my name announced, and it was a great evening for sure.
Now, you've also received awards or honors, let's say, from the Rotary Club as well. You received a
Yes,
Presidential Citation and the
yes.
Fred Jones Award. What do those mean to you?
Well, the Fred Jones Award is a special one because it's a local award, and it's usually, not always, but usually awarded to someone who's done well. It is someone who's done a lot in that particular year, and mostly it's the person who is the former president that wins, because it is actually chosen by the president, the current president, at the year-end meeting. So when you get that award, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the Fred Jones Award, like it's the coveted local award for sure. Whereas a presidential citation is more of a regional award. You have to tick off a bunch of boxes. Membership, tick. A strategy, tick. Social media, tick. Tick, tick, tick. You have to hit X amount in order to get that presidential citation. At the end of the year, you submit everything you've done. And if you do all those things, you get that award as well. So I got that the year I was president because we hit all the ticks, I guess.
It's
Yeah.
certainly nice to look back on all these times. And as
Yes.
you're retiring, it's a period of reflection.
Yes.
35 years in business, there's a lot of things that have gone on in your life. As you
A lot.
look back, are there any that kind of stand out as good memories that you really, really appreciate?
Yeah, I mean, like when I went to Barrie, so when you start out as a youngster, you kind of think of, going up the ladder or whatever. And certainly when I went to Barrie, I thought that was, kind of like I hit a certain thing. But that was certainly a great memory. And I don't know, the municipal elections always are kind of municipal elections, I'm sure we all have been through them. But when you work at the paper, it's interesting here, particularly we've got 4 municipalities and we cover all 4. And, you've got sometimes 2 or 3 people running for mayor and deputy mayor, and you could have, with the wards, you could end up with, 20 to 30 people running in each municipality. And, we have 4 municipalities, so you can imagine that's a lot of work on the writing side and coverage and taking photos and interviewing these folks, and they want to run ads, they don't want to run ads, and then the election night themselves, they're so busy. It's like, oh my gosh, the election's on a Monday, and our paper goes to press on Monday night. So you have to call the press, you have to organize the actual press, the place that prints our paper, organize late press times, and you're running around like crazy trying to get that paper out. So those municipal elections are kind of like a highlight every 4 years. Used to be 3, but now it's 4.
And as you look back at all the things that you've done and the people that you've worked with, what are you going to miss about coming to the office every day?
Well, I think just working with people is the thing that we all miss, I think. When you retire, you have to, you don't see the people as much, but I'm still in the community. I'm still going to go out and about. But yeah, just the structure of coming to work, getting up, putting your pants on, having breakfast, meeting staff, getting the paper out, the news, the distribution, classifieds, production, magazines, delivery. It's all kind of, you wake up Monday morning and you got all these things to do, and then you blink a couple times and boom, it's Friday night again. And then the cycle restarts. That's the good thing about this job, is that, you always have ongoing things, but you kind of, with your deadlines, you got boom, 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 and you kind of relax a little bit for about 10 seconds, and then you start back up again. But
as you look back over your tenure as publisher and working with the papers, you've certainly come up against some marvelous people who have worked in your papers, and many of them are still there today, but some great names have gone on to other things.
Definitely, yes. When I arrived, Martha was here, of course, Martha Perkins, and she was here for 25 years. Everybody knew Martha. It was like when you walk, she's like the queen, and of course, then Jan took over, and you had Chad and Angelica and Darren, and but right now, Emily Stonehouse is our editor, and she's got something over everybody, and that's the fact that she grew up here. She's got kids, they go to school here. Her husband grew up here, she's so intertwined in the community. That's great. And so in that respect, I feel real happy. And then you got Jennifer McKeithern, who's going to take over general manager, and you got Karen London in production, and Laura Smith in sales. And, I can't name everybody. I could, but we'll go on for 3 hours. But I just appreciate everybody and everything that they've done here, and it makes me feel good that that things will be carrying on, and they'll be fine, and I'm not going anywhere. So if they want to call, they can call me.
Well, the changes will be significant, no doubt, and significant in your family life as well.
Yes.
How is your wife taking this thought that you're going to be retired?
Well, I've been trying to do this for a couple of years, and it wasn't just the right time. And I, kept telling her I'm going to retire, I'm going to try. She says, yeah, right. You've said that before. But when we went to Cuba this spring, it was like, okay, I got to get serious here and come up with a date. Because if you don't come up with some sort of a firm date, you're never going to do it. So anyway, so we came up with that date of May 2nd. She's looking forward to spending more time with me, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with her, traveling. She loves to travel, so she's already got things pegged. Okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Okay. But yeah, we're looking forward to that, and getting out and traveling, and just, having fun locally and whatnot.
Well, we're coming into a wonderful season in Haliburton County, and I'm sure there are many local things on your wish list to do, and you have many out of doors activities you enjoy as well.
I do. So I tell people, they say, what are you going to do this summer? I'm going to bike, I'm going to kayak, and I'm going to golf. Not necessarily in that order. And I might do that, some of those things, all 3 in one day,
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. And then
That's
it'll just,
pretty heady stuff.
oh yeah, yeah, be great though.
Well, that's great. And
Looking
David,
forward.
we all know that things change and life goes forward after us. But I can assure you that your legacy of both in the publishing field and as a community cheerleader will live on for others to follow with great admiration. You're to be applauded for everything you've done, both with the newspapers as well as in the community as a whole. And on behalf of all your friends here throughout Haliburton County and all the folks at Canoe FM, we want to wish you a wonderful retirement and say thank you for all your contributions and thank you for your future contributions as well.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the kind words, and I do appreciate our interview today. This was great, unexpected, but it's been lovely. And I know when I got the email from you, I says, "Oh my gosh, it's one person that's going to do this. It'd be Mike." And I'm really glad that we had a chance to talk here today. So
I've appreciated it as well, David. Thanks so much. David Zilstra retires tomorrow as publisher of the Haliburton Echo, the Minden Times, and Bancroft This Week. There is a retirement event, a celebration, if you will, and that's taking place today at the offices of the Haliburton Echo, and it goes between 1 and 3 p.m. You're welcome to come by and give your best wishes. Do so